I'm gonna assume we're live because it dropped instantaneously twice. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Today we're gonna talk about this want, this need, this willingness even to try and communicate who we are to another person. But unfortunately, as soon as we use words, we will fall short because the thing that you are is incommunicable. It cannot be transferred by words. And the only way in that case to really feel seen by another is for them to already know who you are, right? It's almost like they have to remember you, not you have to explain yourself to the point where they know who you are. If that makes any sense, I hope so. We'll talk about that. We'll dive deep into it. A part of me feels, I was like reflecting rather, back onto that stream where we sat in the tree and we were just perfectly silent for the whole of it. And I was like, yeah, the stream, I should just be quiet the whole time because surely I cannot communicate the depth of my being. But I feel instead we can just take that, right? Take that silence, that deep listening, in that silence, in that deep listening, feel heard. And then from that point of being heard, actually allow ourselves to communicate, right? So thank you, friends, for allowing me to communicate to you, for lending me your ears right now, for me to put into them, say yes to life, that you are willing to let the fullness of it wash through you and carry you into an ever deepening understanding, the understanding of all that you are. Woo! Lost in those words even for a second, huh? Say yes to life that you are willing to let the fullness of it wash through you and carry you into an ever deepening understanding, the understanding of all that you are. There's no communicating what we are. There is only coming to the conclusion of what we are. It's May 4th. May the 4th be with you all. Thank you, Shad. Thank you so much. I have my kalimba here, so maybe we'll have a moment of me trying to communicate to you who I am without using my voice, using the voice of a little instrument. While we set up, while we get into this space, our friends join us as well. Sam, it's nice having you. Let me just take a moment to acknowledge and say hi. Natalie, I see you. Joy Vive and Shan and Jovan. May the fourth be with you all. Love is being sent. JV, it's nice having you. Kalimba, yes, yes. Maybe we'll have some kalimba. I'm feeling kind of somber. I'm feeling it's probably like partly it being day fast of the 5. Being day 5 of the fast. Hey Chriswell, that my mind is like completely tuned into itself right now. Right? The fact that every word coming out of my mouth right now is being powered by my fat. That my body is actively metabolizing myself so that I can be here right now, right? It's like I'm using myself, communicating to myself to continue communicating as myself so that I can communicate to you. Yeah, yeah, insanity? I hope not. Let's call it speak. No, speak feels like a powerful word, but it feels weak in the context of setting an intention just for speak. We'll set an intention for heard more than speak. I feel all of us can speak, but all of us aren't always heard. So we'll do that one instead. Okay. I had to think about the spelling for a second. Might still be incorrect. Here with a D? Are you heard? It has to be fine now, I guess. It's already done, cannot be undone. And then our runes will be the gift. Pippi is barking at nothing, so I guess I'll have to accept the abundance that is her spiciness as well. I'll accept her feminine energy. I will. I'll accept family as you friends. And then I'm gonna accept humanity actually as a whole as well. I hear you, humanity. Yeah, get those runes. Hey, I see Duck Dad is here too. It's nice to have you, Brother Bear, sending you lovin's. Chris Well here at the top of the stream. Thank you, Joy V, for sending love to him as well. Good morning, beautiful love vehicles. I'm working in the largest customer pollinator garden right now, so I'm going to be in lurk mode. Thank you, Brother Bear, for spending even a moment. There's no expectation for you to stay here. I know you know that. Thank you for being here because you want to be. You are, without having to say anything, communicating to me that you find this space valuable. Thank you. Shell is here too. 1111 on Natalie's side of the world. I feel open. Today, during my yoga stream, there was this moment where I was noticing myself reflecting on all of the parts of myself, all of the parts of others being that I might have closed myself off to. And I just found myself asking, saying, willing, manifesting, spelling, however you want to say it. My heart is open. My heart is open. And then the thing we're saying, we read is exactly, with that. Let the fullness of life flow through you, right? That your heart is the part of yourself through which life flows. To think of the heart maybe as the center of our consciousness instead of our brains. Our brains is just the storytelling device. Our heart contains this fundamental primordial rhythm. The primordial energy courses through every single one of us. I feel like I'm overwhelmed a little bit. Duckaroo, Chris Well, thank you for the love you're sending. Damn right, I find it valuable. I'll defend to the death the same way I do with our baby yard bunny flowers. So much love. Thank you, Duck Dad. Your energy is felt. Did you see our sweet little flowers yesterday, Duck? I'm guessing you posted something, Shan. I might have missed it myself. There we go. Like there's this weird duality happening in me right now, right? One part, you cannot say what's inside, and one part, you should be saying what's inside. Flowers, the name. Flowers is the name of Duck Dad's yard bun. Thank you for connecting that fractal in my mind. Now I'm completely there with you. Thank you, Shan. Can I did not, but Duckling and Duck Mama did. He ate the dandelions and strawberries. I'm guessing little Flower is still being a little bit of a rascal. If you were a bunny, wouldn't you go straight for the strawberries as well? Drive by, greetings to you, melty people. As we love you, Kristen. It's nice having you. We're gonna smoke today with the intention of being heard, and then what's the outside intention? The intention that wraps the intention of being heard. Seen, right? Being heard makes us feel seen. Even though it's impossible to communicate what you are, being heard, and then from that feeling of being heard, feeling seen, is still something that we're capable of, right? Isn't that a paradox? Today's stream topic was inspired by a dream where I try to articulate to myself what happened in these dreams as soon as I wake up. but they fade quickly. And as I was trying to articulate to myself, there was this version of myself telling me, stop, stop doing that. And I was like, why? And it said, because you don't know what to say in order to say everything that needs to be said for this thing to be complete. And I was like, what does that mean? And it's like, well, basically, no matter how good you get at speaking, no matter how good you get at telling stories, you won't be capable of communicating, at least not in human language, the depth of being, right? That a dream is something you can tell a story about. You can be like, oh yeah, and then I met this person, and then we went here. But that's a story for someone else to look in with, right? Like from the outside in. The depth of a dream is the fact that it's your felt experience in that moment, right? And how do you communicate that part of a dream to someone? I believe you can't. In the same way you can't communicate that part of yourself to someone right now, right? The depth of your own beingness needs to be felt. It needs to be understood by the other person as the same depth of their being. And only from that can we feel seen and heard, right? And then we trip ourselves out trying to use words, trying to say the right thing so that people can actually understand, when that's a fallacy, it's a possibility, right? And it's hard to accept. I'm still struggling with it myself. I have a family that doesn't seem to want to understand the depth of my being. And not because they don't love me, but just because they don't know that that's what they are as well, right? That you cannot communicate to someone the I. They have to already know that they are the same I that you're trying to, if you're going to try to communicate the I to them. All of us collectively in that same place right now. I don't have the time to chat, but I'll listen in on the way to work. We love you, Lawazana. Even if you're just a name in chat, you don't have to say anything to communicate the depth of your being. And that's the thing, right? Even if your friends try to, even if we spend one-on-one our entire lives just trying to get to know one another, we won't, because the circumstances will change, our bodies will age, the trees will grow and fall down around us, and we will still remain, right, influenced divinely by this experience, actively trying to communicate that which we are, the depth of our being, and always falling short. It's not something to communicate, it's something to be felt. Do you feel it? It is deep. It's deep in a way where it feels like you're falling sometimes. It feels like you're infinitely falling deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Christian has this creative writing piece called Questionology, where we can ask ourselves questions and ask ourselves questions of our questions and then ask ourselves questions of our questions of our questions and there's no end to it. There's no end to trying to explain what we are, right? And that's confusing. That's confusing because all of us would like to know what it is we are, right? There's a whole fractal in our humanity of going and trying to find ourselves, right? Like we're gonna find ourselves out there somewhere. No, all of that which you're gonna find is gonna be inside the depth of your very beingness, and it's a lot, a little bit much sometimes. I wish you could all be here. Beautiful sunny day, birds of all kinds singing their songs, woodpeckers hitting trees in rhythm, gathering breakfast, the sound of the water flowing in the distant pond. We might not be there in person, but we just got teleported there through mind. Thank you, Duck Dad. for communicating, right? That part of self. Because Duck Dad just said something about himself without even having to say anything about himself, right? That's the thing I'm trying to get at. You are beautiful, Brother Bear. Thank you for sharing that beauty with us as well. Bubbles told me, says Shell, we should not hide our shame or our temper tantrums from our friends, or else we can't be fully seen, and friends are robbed of the opportunity to show themselves to us as well. Yeah, exactly, Shell. Hey, John. It's nice having you, dude. Of course, someone who has seen me in person joins us in this space. How is it for you, John? How is it for you joining in this space as well, the way you have, having actually seen me in person, right? Can you confirm I'm a real person? Am I a person? Please, please confirm I'm a person. I need to feel stable. Today we're talking about, or we're smoking at least, to be seen and to be heard. Specifically, this topic that no matter how good we get at speaking, we'll never be able to communicate the full depth of our being, right? That the only way for someone to understand the full depth of your being is to feel it, is to know it already without you having to say it. Don't call me alien. No, stop it. Stop doing that, dude. You're gonna trip me out. Like I was showering with Pippi today. That sounds so sus. I was scrubbing her down with shampoo and I dried her and I was just thinking to myself, what the hell's happening right now? Right? This is any of this normal? Is anything normal? Is there such a thing as normal? We have gone so far beyond what normal existence is that trying to articulate to ourselves what we are on top of the absurdity that we're a part of right now is beyond us. Alien. Beautifully said, John. So apt. Alien. Straight up alien. It's alien. My customer, I think I missed a few. If you if we were there, you wouldn't get any work done. This is true actually. My customers would wine and dine you while I work. She would make sure to wine and dine me too though. Yeah. Just all of us whining and dining. And then we look at Duck Dad and it's like, shouldn't isn't something supposed to be happening? Only whining and dining. But be fresh and clean. She is. She is. And I condition her as well. So she feels like a little velvet dog. I haven't showered her in yes, like 3 months. I felt kind of bad. I saw fleas on her yesterday, so I was like, okay, I think you need to be bathed. Yeah. It's kind of weird. And she knows like she's not scared of it. Right? That's the thing that I was like tripping out about as well. Like the experience of getting showered isn't alien to her, but she still doesn't appreciate it. But because it's not alien to her and she knows that it needs to be done, she kind of shows up for it where like she actually jumps into the shower, right? Like she's not like hiding in a corner trying to get away from it. She actually jumps into the shower. She doesn't go underneath the water, but she jumps into the shower with me. And then I have to coerce her underneath the water to get her, wet. And then I scrub her down. And I can see that she's enjoying the attention, but she's not enjoying the mode of attention in that moment. But she understands, right? She understands that I don't have to try and communicate. I don't have to try and explain to her what's happening. She knows. But I don't know if she's supposed to know, right? Dogs don't get washed. Hey, Mr. Merkaba. Dogs don't get washed in nature. And yet she does understand what being washed means. Alien. Yeah, that's Talk my heart. Sounds beautiful. My little baby robins left their nest yesterday. So bittersweet. I spent a good part of the day trying to find where they landed, keeping the safe. Oh, goodness. From the neighborhood kitty catters. Yeah, I can imagine. But they'll be fine. They'll live long, healthy little lives, being their little robin selves, experiencing what this world holds. There's so much beauty here. But there's so much in the way of us seeing it sometimes. Jokes aside, you're probably the most real person I've ever met. Oh goodness, that's even worse. That's even worse, John. I'm a real person. Oh hell. I thought considering myself alien was bad. Now I have to consider myself a real person. That's worse. It's so so much worse. Thank you, brother bear. Thank you so much. But be fresh and clean. Ah, when Jeffrey was a pup, he used to follow me right into the shower and just sit there. I forgot about that. So much love. Sending love to Jeffrey as well. Still here, still in those moments with us. Mel, I confirm that's normal. Our jog jumps into the shower as well. She gets shampoo and conditioner. So she's silky like a duck, silky mystical creature like a seal. Exactly. Right. And then there's a part of us that approves. It's like, yeah, my dog is supposed to be clean. And then we get a sense of dopamine of like, yeah, confirmation. Good. I did something. There's another small cat in my backyard. It's another black one. But this one has little white socks. I fed him too. They talk to one another. Like I'm not joking about this, Joy. They actually speak to one another. So like the neighborhood now knows that Joy Vive feeds us if we chill in her backyard. Before you know, you're gonna be all Puss in Boots lady. Uh, I don't judge. Just so that that's clear. I just imagine the financial implication of feeding 100 cats. Right? That's the thing that was like I was stuck with. I was like actively watching a fairy tale unfold in front of my eyes, and anthropomorphized bears and cats walking on two legs, and I was like, yeah, this checks out. And then we find that lady's house where she has like 100 cats, and I'm like, where the fuck does this woman get the money to feed these things? Just notice, May the 4th be with you all, also without us. Love you too, Mr. Mergawa. Thank you, Luke, for sending some love. Words getting around that you got the goods, Joy. This is true. Like all of us are actively in a communication with this world. That was the thing that we did the yoga with today, is that the way you move, right, through the world communicates something. Everything you do communicates something. So if we're going to communicate something, and it's impossible for us to communicate the full depth of our being, let's communicate love. All right. Let's feed the kitties. All right. That's your communication into the world. Careful, tomorrow is revenge of the 5th. It's true. It's true. Tomorrow is gonna be a full moon. Beautifully so. The moon is probably gonna come out while we're streaming as well. Chinko, Wachinko, I am. Yes, you are, Keval. Yes, you are. The I am. All of us are that I am. And it's deepo. That I am keeps going. It doesn't can be sometimes insensitive. Right. Just going knife's edge, razor's edge, spear to piercing through reality infinitely. How do we deal with impermanence, friends? Question I asked my sister, question I shared in the yoga as well, where I asked my sister, how do we deal with impermanence? I ask her, how do you deal with impermanence? This understanding that things aren't gonna last forever, right? This beingness that we are, the depth of our being, the thing that is incommunicable, the I am, that is gonna remain. But then everything that is change is the impermanent, is going to go away. And I ask her, how do you deal with that? And she's like, I cry sometimes. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. It's okay to cry sometimes. And then get right back up and try to communicate love. From that perspective, hoping to be heard, hoping to be seen. I got Mexican food, plans tomorrow, celebration. Sounds nice to me. Shan, my mind went to my little princess popper, Gypsy, and how she treated bath time like spa day. It hurt so big when I lost her. But having these memories come up is always a sentimental treat. They're not gone. They're not gone. They continue existing, right? If we're gonna consider quantum reality, they're just as alive as you and me. They're just not just as alive as you and me in this now. But this now extends infinitely through everything, right? Time and space. And yet we find ourselves intersecting that now always. Right? That's the perspective. That's the realization we have to come to, that it's impossible for you to communicate that depth, that you have experienced everything. Not only everything that has happened, but everything, right? Our entire future, our entire past, our multiplicity in infinite different potential futures that we could have lived, making different decisions, all of it now. All of it now. Inescapable. It's a bit much. 5 out of 5. Portal solar lunar alignment. Yeah. And I'm fasting. Today is day 5 of my fast. So I feel like I'm double aligned, fasting as this moon is coming along as well. I believe the fleeting nature of life gives it purpose and meaning. I feel purpose and meaning arises from the significance we place on things, right? That the narrative you construct around things is where meaning and purpose is derived. But I'll add to what you're saying, John, to add and say the impermanence thereof gives us a certain perspective that allows us to communicate lovingly, significantly to ourselves. Zano is here too, sending you lovin's. It's nice having you. Right? So if things weren't impermanent, if for instance you got a puppy and that puppy just lived forever, right? In exactly the way, look, you dropped your pocket. Hey to you. I don't think I've seen your username before, but I love you too. It's nice having you here, friend. We're talking about impermanence right now, so it's a little bit woo, wishy-washy, right? But if there was no impermanence, if there was no things going away, if there was no dying, then you wouldn't be able to look back fondly to a puppy that you've had, right? This experience of reflecting on that which is impermanent would be void. You wouldn't get to have the fullness that this life holds. And it's just trying to reconstruct that narrative within this imperfectness, that it's still loving, that love is still true, despite the impermanence, despite that there is our friends. Oh, Sensei! Dude, I've been thinking about you so much, dude. Like, uncomfortably much. Stop running through my brain. All the things you said running through my brain. Stop it, Sensei. You stop it right now. I've been writing my book, oh, and you've been an inspiration in that, man. Yeah, I love you. Sending you good vibes, dude. Let me see. I think I'm missing a few comments. What a relief. What a relief. I pay attention to what is, because something always is. Impermanence hurts, but when we focus too much on what was, the memory is real. The memory is real, by the way. But for both good and bad, we need to understand memory is also just feedback that is happening in the now. That the now is a memory, technically, as well, right? That apparently we don't actually experience reality instantaneously. We experience the reality as a constructed memory that is like 3 milliseconds old or something. This is a memory you're living right now, right? And then if that's the case, what are we going to tell ourselves is the significance of this memory, right? I'm having this memory right now, seeing my world around, having lived the experience that I have as this self because of love. I wouldn't sit here right now and be present, be focused if I didn't love, right? Love myself, love this experience I'm having, love the act of breathing air, right? Otherwise, I would stop. So clearly, love has to be true, even if there's impermanence, right? And it's this weird thing. It's this weird thing with my dad where he believes the loon van die sonde is die dood. So the punishment of sin is death. And he believes we die because we are born sinners. And I'm like, Dad, don't you realize being able to die is a part of what makes this life beautiful? It's a part of what makes this life loving, right? That a true loving experience is encapsulating of that as well. Love you, Kevo. If you had infinite time, you could infinitely procrastinate. You have time for everything. Without concept of death, you wouldn't have a drive to do anything, dreams to aspire to and achieve. I actually don't agree with that sentiment, unfortunately, John, because even though I know I'm gonna live forever, right? I know this as a fundamental part of the being I show up as, right? I am gonna live forever. Not melt is gonna live forever, not flesh is gonna live forever. I am going to live forever. That part of us, that depth, continues infinitely, right? Infinitely. Beyond time, infinitely, right? Vaster than time. Multiple trillions and trillions and trillions of timelines stacked together for trillions and trillions and trillions of imagined years of length, right? Infinitely, infinitely. That I remains constant, observing, loving, loving. And yet we still come and have this experience, right? As beingness. And even though I understand this part of myself intrinsically, I believe the antidote to procrastination is just doing the thing today, right? If you want to see within this infinity yourself somewhere, do it today, right? In this moment, allow yourself the experience of love, whatever that means, be that a conversation with a friend, be that a conversation of a loved one, a family member, be it taking care of your animals, right? Taking care of stray animals if you need to as well, be it taking care of people on the street, be it helping, living in a state of service, showing up in love, your hobby, your creative pursuit, your will, your want to make this world more beautiful, not less, not trying to take away from it, trying to make more, more. And I feel that infinite part of me has that as its directive, knowing immortality. I want more, not procrastination, but more. I was crying in the shower the other day about one of my cats that I had to give up when I left home. I feel like there's a somberness, a crying happening in my heart a little bit as well right now. I'm sorry that you have to experience that. I do believe that that must have been healing though. Crying in the shower can be quite a rinsing, a washing experience of the self. Tomorrow is our 17th wedding anniversary. I chose May 5th because no one can forget 5-5. Such this beautiful one. I'm happy to hear that you've been married for so long. Seeing the amount of little heart faces you added to that comment shows that there is still depth in that experience for you. And it makes me so happy to see that. You know, I smiled through a couple of tears remembering that. That's so stinking cute about Gypsy. Living the life. Love is true. Thank you, friends, for sharing these fractals. You dropped your pocket in Northern. Northern Lola. That's so nice. It's nice seeing you, friend. How have you been? How has this experience been? Have you been trying to tell the world who you are desperately? Oh, why don't people understand who I am? Because they can't. It's impossible. They have to already know, which is trippy. It's like, what? How does that supposed to make sense? And you know how they know? By you knowing. by you already knowing, right? You have to know the part of yourself that is incommunicable to the point that other people know that about you just by seeing you. Just by seeing the way you move, you communicate an understanding to the world. Right? It's rough. It's makes you very self-conscious. Oh, so self-conscious. Oh, am I moving my arms correctly in this social in this social circumstance? Should I be moving my arms like this? People think I'm insane right now. Got a writing schedule? I don't, but Christian is coming on Sunday. So he's going to be sitting directly next to me. And then with that, I'm going to communicate to him this will to have a writing schedule, to write for at least, in the same way I do these streams, show up every day for at least an hour. Right? Sit down, nothing else, no distractions. You sit down and you write stuff. That's what you do in this hour, right? Piloting myself, even though this passenger is gonna kick and scream, he's gonna lose his mind. I don't want to be sitting here. I'm bored. Maybe I'll go and do more research. Maybe we're flying. We're going in this direction now. Anyway, sit down. Wait for the refinements. Reflect. Sending you love, Sensei. It's nice having you here today, dude. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? How has this experience been treating you? Love is permanent. Yes, and interdimensional. Yes, you still love people that have passed away. Yes, yes, yes. I really resonate with impermanence, giving love, deeper meaning. Yes, all of the yeses. So from that place of love, right? From that place of impermanence. Oh goodness, my brain is melting. Christian communicated beautifully to me this vision dream he had, and I'm sorry, Christian, but I wanna share this beauty. And he told me that he saw a being that was everyone he had ever loved, right? And as soon as he would think about this person that he had loved, he would see their face arise from this being, his mom, all of his lovers, family members that have passed. His mom passed as well. And then he realized that this being that he so dearly loves, all of these beings, at the same time as individualization that he's loved, not only was for his life, but all of the lives he had ever lived as consciousness. Every single being, that consciousness, that I has ever loved, represented as this being. And going in and embracing that person and saying, I have missed you. And just the love that is communicated, right? Without having to say it, the love that is communicated just in an embrace. Yeah, John. Maybe that's why we fuck with ourselves so much. I knew it was coming. I'll melt into it. Come. Feeling heard and seen. Dying so that we can love again. Being born and experiencing. Ezra, is here too. Sending you love, friend. It's nice having you here as well. Let me see, I think I'm falling behind on comments a little bit. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Insane, for letting us see you and send lovin's to you, dude. Only locked into the linear timeline here. And on this planet in these squishy sacks. Yeah, and we're convinced. We're convinced it's like, oh yes, I am a person. And then we talk to other people and they're like, oh wow, you're a person? How about that? I'm a person. And we're like, oh wow, tell me about how you've been personing. And then person, and person. And I'm like, oh wow, that's so crazy that you personed like that. I personed kind of like that this other time, personing. And we're like, yes, yeah. All of us are people. Yes, squishy sex, experiencing linear time right now. That's totally what's happening. Convinced, and we convinced ourselves, right? We like being convinced of this experience right now because of the impermanence that there is in it, right? If you're convinced of your own fleshy existence to the point where you can see yourself aging day after day, looking in the mirror, it allows a certain sense of love that only arises for something that changes, right? And again, I believe that's the perspective. Masculine and feminine as polarities, like plus and minus, right? Like magnets. A magnet has a positive and a negative pole. Sure, right? There are variations, there's a wonkiness in between those frequencies, but there is an energy transfer that's happening. And that energy transfer, I believe, and they facilitate one another, is the masculine perspective of the unchanged, your awareness, and then the feminine perspective of the change, embodiment, everything that we see, right? And the seer is the part that is unchanged. And that to really get along with life, and I do think of it like a getting along, like you're in a relationship, you have to love her. You have to love life, even though she's gonna be mean sometimes. But she's also gonna be peppy sometimes, all right? And sometimes she's gonna bark for nothing. And then I still have to learn how to love life despite her shenanigans. In everything, in this body of yours, in the trees, and the water that you're drinking. I added love and wisdom, but I'm gonna add more love and wisdom. Thank you. The water is listening. The water is actually listening to you, dear friend. And it crystallizes depending on what it hears into different geometries, right? Some of the geometry is going to be all whack. Some of it can be completely lacking of any geometric uh, perfection. Saying loving things have within them coded perfection on a fundamental level, on a higher dimensional level, even. Like you don't even have to. You don't even have to do anything, right? Maybe that's something I have to come to the conclusion of as well. That there is still power in speaking. I'm not going to deny that fact, but the power of speaking doesn't contain within it the ability to communicate what you are. Unfortunately, I think in this primitive way, this putting vibrations out into the world. No, if anything, if there was a way to communicate what we are, it would be like. It would just be like something like that, like it wouldn't be this. And that even though you will instantaneously, if I go, you'll be like, okay, this is the tone that's happening right now, and you'll be like, okay, yes, okay, there's something being communicated, a beingness, an understanding, a presence. But then we interrupt ourselves. And the power of interruption can actually be something that adds depth instead of takes it away, right? We add void and then we gain information. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for being here, friend. Thank you for sending love to Insane. I'm gonna read some more comments. I'm getting all tripped out. You friends are making me happy. I overheard the mailman talking to a neighbor about how her dog crossed over. Haven't heard crossed over in a while. Passed over, passed away, died. I thought deeply about the stranger's experience. I think deeply about this comedian's bit. I've forgotten his name. Some of your friends might know it by the bit I'm going to talk about. But he was talking about softening language. How, as a society, we have tried to soften language when it comes to saying things, right? Talking about language as power, talking about language as not having the power to communicate the true depth of your being, and how we then add extra layers to not communicate the true depth of the being, right? If you tell a child, the dog crossed over, right? In that child's mind, the imagery that's going to be created is it walking over a bridge or something? And that, I believe, is closer to actual reality, to the depth of what is truly happening. And yet, in this physical plane, to be truthful with that child, say that the animal died, right? The impermanence, communicating the fact of the impermanence, is in itself acknowledgement of this experience we find ourselves a part of, right? That this self that you are, for some reason, it likes the cyclical nature of things, right? The infinite nature of things. And the infinite nature of things brings along with it the arising and falling away of everything, right? Including the human form, including the animal forms, including the trees, including the grass around us. There is this right? And every single time it has that experience of being uplifted, it loves. And then there is an extinguishing, and it falls back to the ground, to nothingness, and it arises again. And from a human perspective, from an individual ego perspective, that can feel unfair, right? Why do I keep having to die so that I can have the experience of living? Because that's what you are. That's what you are. Everything. And there's no escaping that part of yourself. But there's also no communicating it. It has to be a felt experience. It has to be something that we accept. And then from that acceptance, you treat others from that perspective, right? If everything else is everything else as well, treat everything else with love. If we can't say that we're everything, if we can't say that the other person, the other thing is everything, at least treat it with love. Because that's going to say enough. I promise you. I see hearts and eyes and smiles and flowers and plants growing with leaves sprouting. Yeah. Okay, fine. I need a writing schedule. Make one. As the pilot, choose a direction that you have to fly in this moment. Be like, actually, as this pilot, I'm gonna scribble down that if there is, thick clouds 2 kilometers up ahead, I'm probably gonna start diverting my course a little bit at this time, up until this time, and then I'm gonna redirect my course so that I can continue going in the direction I'm supposed to. All right. I don't know if they're allowed to do that. I think they fly through storms. But in this analogy, in your life, as this pilot, the one piloting yourself right now, and also the passenger, the one that's kind of like in this in it for the ride, right? You have to choose what you want to do, and your passenger is gonna sometimes fight. It's gonna be like, this isn't where I want to be going, right? Like if you want to be going towards massive global influence and upliftment of the human race and visceral joy and happiness and the abundance of housing, food, and energy, becoming unanimous. If that is the place where we're heading, sitting down and pushing buttons doesn't feel like that, right? Sitting down and planting plants doesn't feel like that. Sitting down and, washing the dishes, standing and washing the dishes, it doesn't feel like that, but it is love. It is a loving approach towards that which we're going towards, and you have to be present with it, right? That focus, that presence you give to the things that you want to build. It's almost like you acknowledging in a tangible way the thing you're trying to build every day creates it out of nothing, right? You keep acknowledging something, and then suddenly there it is. You're like, Mel, that doesn't make any sense. So if you, for instance, want a business, right? And you keep acknowledging the fact that I'm a business owner and I do these things in my business. And then you acknowledge that by doing it over and over again. If you do that for 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, and you still don't have a business, I'll be shocked. I'll literally be gasping, shocked, like falling onto my knees, having a hard time to breathe, shocked. Because the reality, Tim, it's nice having you. The reality of the situation is you get to choose what you experience. And as you choose, you'll experience it. It's almost comical how simple it is, but it just takes time. And that's the thing that we're kind of lost with. Because we're stuck in the now, waiting in this now right now doesn't feel great. It doesn't actually feel that great sometimes. So fill your time with something useful, with something productive, because the wait is never going to stop, right? So all we have to figure out is how to allow ourselves times of rest, times of waiting, right? Chillaxing, but also realizing that this experience of going somewhere doesn't exist. You are here. This is where we're going, here, now. This is where we went. Through infinity and beyond, we came here to be now. Clearly, that says something, right? If we're going to talk about trying to communicate the depth of our being to someone else and that being impossible, what does your existence communicate about the whole of reality in that perspective, right? What is reality trying to say by you existing in this moment? And if reality isn't trying to say it loves you, then how? I don't know, right? Like, teach me otherwise. I'm gonna have a hard time believing you, though. I'm pretty biased. So many euphemisms for death. Exactly. It's the softening of the language, right? Because death is in a weird way a weapon. Yeah, shit. It just came out like that. Death is in a way a weapon. Because it has been painted as such. It has been painted as a weapon, right? I like to say this as a counter to that. Dying isn't dangerous, right? And I like to add, and this is a little bit gruesome and visceral, getting stabbed, that's dangerous. Getting hit by a truck, pretty dangerous. But dying, that's not dangerous. That is as natural as being born, right? It's as natural as the grass growing underneath your feet. It's not dangerous. It's a part of the process. And then from this perspective that you as an arising human being are still facilitating the experience of consciousness, right? Facilitating the experience of consciousness. Because consciousness arises from your experience. Almost, I think almost like takes the place, like your experience becomes a vessel for consciousness to fill. Helicopter flying over my head, distracting my brain a little bit. And the more you experience love, I feel the more depth there is, right? The opposite of love is a contraction away from. Love is something that, reaches out, focuses, gives presence to, shows up for. It's a explosion of energy instead of a contraction away of that energy. Love you too, baby. So much. I do. Love you again, Cable. Thank you. That is quite literally, it's got nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever, but please don't tell your dad that Shell said that. It's true. Yeah. It's, my dad likes believing the things he believes, and he's convinced of that. And I can accept him regardless. And I do. And he's a beautiful person. He's a beautiful person. And he tries really hard, and he's a good dad. There's nothing wrong with him. All right? There's nothing wrong with him. There can't be something wrong with you. There might be, and this is my bias speaking, of course, my ego. There might be something wrong with the way that you were reasoning. From the perspective, if someone reasons incorrectly when it comes to math, we can correct them and be like, actually, this is actually how the proper logic tree works, right? And they can be like, oh, that makes sense. I see how that, oh, thank you for teaching me. With religion and with belief systems and with life in general, the way we experience this reality moment to moment, it's very difficult to teach someone else, how to experience what you experience, because you've had your whole life to learn how to experience that. And they have had their whole life to learn how to experience what they're experiencing. So it's impossible for you to use the right words to communicate to them this thing. They have to feel into it. They have to almost remember that part of themselves. And how do you get someone to remember something? I try to use the right words. I'm really trying, because I believe every single word I choose to use stimulates a certain fractal in your brain. Right? You are a fractal generator, and then it creates these narratives like and then that experience, over a large enough time frame, manifests change in your life and in reality as a result of that. That's the power we have. That's the power of language and the way that we use it. Dad, sending you love it. It's nice having you here, man. I feel like I'm losing my mind, dude. And yet, I feel more stable than ever. I just feel a little bit irritable. So, when you fast, your body starts releasing chemicals. One of them being noradrenaline. So my body is coursing with adrenaline right now because it believes that me as a being has not eaten in 5 days. So I need to be hyper alert. I need to be watching out for things, and I need to find food, right? That's what my body thinks is happening. But from the pilot perspective, realizing that this passenger is realizing something, I can still set the course. Stay where I'm supposed to be right now. And it's a weird experience, right? Like my body is communicating many things to me. All of our bodies. So for example, right, this might be like a little bit esoteric. So let's just ground ourselves. The fact that you're a body, right? That you are experiencing gravity pushing up against you right now. There is actively an experience of your clothes everywhere it touches yourself, right? There is the experience of the air as it's floating between your arms. You can like move that as well, add some extra experience. There is the experience of everything that you're hearing around you. And yet we filter out so much of it. It's like we find ourselves stable somewhere else, right? That we can kind of establish that stability with ourselves. And this is with the practice of like chakra meditation, where you go root, sacral, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat, third eye, crown, where it starts you off by being like, hey, breathe, feel that stability. Notice yourself sitting, standing on the ground, right? Situated on a planet. You're not flying into space right now. You're here, stable. And then imagining that stability almost like roots growing down, becoming a part of the earth, making you a part of this experience. That stability then leads us to a certain sense of safety so that we can continue and allow ourselves to feel. That feeling usually comes with a want to feel good, and a want to feel good can be a very selfish thing, and selfish energy can be good for willpower, right? The first three layers of all of our being. And then there's this one-way mirror where these parts of ourselves can't see what's above, but the parts above can see what's happening below. You can experience what it's like to be a body, and what it's like to feel things, and what it's like to have willpower and do things in this world day after day after day. But there is this other parts of you, the part of you that's compassionate, right? The part of you that goes beyond just your own individual needs and takes care of others as well. Like a tree has leaves, and beings can, like us, can find ourselves in the shade thereof. And we find comfort in that, right? It's a good thing for us. That's a level of compassion that the world demonstrates in my mind. And we can demonstrate that compassion as well. Then there's the throat, really realizing the power of the throat, what we say to one another and what we listen to when other people speak is a power that all of us have been imbued with. I believe we should use that power with our insight in mind, the fact that we can close our eyes, plug our ears, dissociate from our bodies and still have that same space of insight, part of you that sees inside. And then there's the crown that connects you to everything that's around. And it's like a pillar. You are a pillar of energy exchanging with reality. Your beingness, your existence communicates love to the universe. You can't help it, so you might as well help it. Right? You might as well, I can't help the fact that I'm actual proof of love, so I might as well be proof of love. Really lean into it. God damn, it's such a funny Christianity. Can you actually love people, or do you love their memories or feelings? I believe I love the actual existence, the fact of being, right? One of my favorite things to say to someone is, I love the space you occupy. And it might be weird, right? But some people apologize for occupying space. Some people apologize for getting in your way or having to shimmy past you. And then I always praise them for, like, thank you. Thank you for taking up the exact space that you do, right? Don't ever apologize for that. Never mind not trying to communicate that, trying to apologize for it. No, can't have that. Damn, Mel, your dad seems to have a very negative-based view of life. Unfortunately, yes. My dad is pretty cynical. My dad has seen some hectic shit, right? He was part of the generation that was forced to be enrolled for 2 years in the military after you finish high school. I don't think that makes him hardened. He likes to believe it hardened him, but watching how his life went afterwards doesn't communicate to me someone who has been hardened. And this is my personal bias, right? Because I believe if you condition yourself that someone else needs to tell you how to take care of yourself, how to be a fit human being, how to be stand up and upright, right? Like, and that's how he sees it. Yeah, we were disciplined, right? We were shown what discipline is. But you were shown what discipline is through the lens of being told what to do, and in doing that, it was discipline. And that conditions your mind to wanting to be told what to do. And then when that figure falls away, it leaves your mind to try and seek that figure somewhere else in the world as well, not realizing that it's you. You are the one who should be telling you what to do. and then it falls on a god, right? Oh, this god will tell me what to do, and a lot of people take great comfort in that. I have tried. Unfortunately, there's no comfort. There's just cold nothingness in trying to reach out to something that doesn't exist. But there is warmth in acknowledging that I can love myself, right? I can do something nice for myself. I can wash my hair. I can brush my teeth. I can drink water that I bless lovingly. And in that, I find exponentially more significance, more divinity than I do in perceived divinity reality. Love you, Sensei. Thank you for joining us, dude. Your energy was felt and it contributed to. I can feel there has been a lot of growth on your side as well. Makes me so happy. Sending you lovin's. Glad your view is love based. Yeah, love, love, love for the self, right? Love for the self. Is that the self? Is what we conceive of as God, I believe. I think Mel's dad won't smoke his godmother, right? Just, yeah, exactly. Literally just posted this exact quote of more today of my Instagram story. More. More. Congrats on 17 years. So sick. It helped me to mind map on a sheet of paper before every writing session. I'm doing that. I am doing that. The mind mapping thing. I'm just not good at it. Oh, I wanted to show you a little cricket that was sitting on the book, and then he jumped, and then he hit this tin. I hope that sound was caught. He made a little ding. Kitty in the tree behind you, Melty. Look at that shenanigans. Can I zoom? Yeah, there we go. Look at her. Yeah, that's a tree, Pippi. Pippi is so cool. Oh, so cool, Pippi. Oh, I love her to bits. Love is true. Love is true. This tree, my mind wanted to chop it down. A part of me wanted to accept the impermanence of the fact that it had fallen. My dad cut the side root off because it was apparently encroaching on the house. My mind is like, good. Good, let it encroach on the house, let it break the foundation, let it come through the floors, and then like clean it around it, right? Like maybe like brush it off, have the exposed soil inside. And my parents are like, no, we cannot do that. And I'm like, fine. Fine. Chop the sides of the roots off. And my heart was hurting, imagine you as a being, right? Have like a third of yourself just removed. How is that gonna feel? I was feeling the pain, in that way. Hey Maulao, sending you love. But then I was also worried for its stability, for its structure, right? Trying to imagine if it's possible that it's gonna stand. And then a big gust of wind came and it toppled over. But it's not dead. Oh no, it still wants to live. And if I went through with that state of mind that just wanted to chop it into pieces in acceptance, this experience would not exist. I don't know why, but this is feeling pretty trippy to me right now. Gorgeous passion flowers, I said, your friends, passion flowers. I'm gonna try and get a little more present. I have had sings with melting people here before, but today is mind-blowing. Showing up every single day as an opportunity for serendipity, Cable. Are you surprised? You're surprised that there's more and more serendipity? No surprise, doesn't need a bunch of context, but I'm mind blown. Is simply put, feel the synchronicity. We are in this experience for a reason together, dude. I got my Netherlands residency super close to moving now permanently. Dude, sorry, I don't know if you're still here. It's insane, but that's amazing news, dude. Like, to you friends who don't know, it's insane. Went from Canada to the Netherlands, had to go from the Netherlands to England. I had to try from England to get residency again in the Netherlands, and now officially got it. Right, all of that with reality dissipated. Sending you love. It's insane. That's amazing. I posted something regarding Instagram. Thank you. I'll check it out, dude. I have to say so much love. Melty, Joe Schmo, love to you again. I love you all in my belly. Yes, S-Rock is here too. What a dream. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, S-Rock, for listening. Just gotta get my work to sign me with the entity there so I can work with them from the Netherlands legally. But yeah, can't believe I've made it happen. You did, dude. You manifested that reality, right? And I know he's not even here right now, but just think about that. It's insane. Went through this experience of wanting something, right? Painting a snapshot in his mind of what he needed, that being living in the Netherlands. And he made it happen. It took him time. There was suffering. There was still suffering. Let's not pretend like that didn't happen. He still had to go through trials and tribulations to get to that point. But now he's there, right? He did it. I was so proud of you, dude. Sending you extra lovin's. No way. Congrats. Thank you for the love as well, friends. See you missing the smile. You're an amazing human. No, you slide around a lot smoother now. I can imagine, dude. No more stuck in the world almost. You were talking about not apologizing for taking up space. I grow a lot of plants and vegetables, and it made me think plants don't apologize for their roots growing. Yes, they grow where they need to. Beautifully said, Tim. Yes. Right? And the best part is the soil loves it. The soil loves it. Having roots penetrate the soil and creating these pockets of air and separation instead of it just being like mushed up against itself. It loves it. It's good for it. So yeah, don't apologize for taking space. Hey, talking about. It's nice having you here, Tiger. Sending you love, Maxine. It's insane. Your level of happiness inspired me to find my smiles and to embrace my difficulties. You did a lot for me when I was hurting, and you don't even know me, but you helped in my healing. I keep telling him this. Oh, even Uncle Becky is here talking about people who still, right, is in our hearts, continually healing us. I shared with Uncle Becky today in a message, one of the most beautiful ways that Uncle Becky actively heals me every day is with this quote. And I don't even know if he was the first one to come up with it, but the first person I heard say these words into this world, had this idea communicated at my ears, was Uncle Becky. And he told me, you can take nothing. You can take this breath. And even that you have to give back. And that's wisdom nobody can ever take away from me. That influence you have on my life with what you chose to communicate can never be taken away. And all of you friends have that power in everybody's lives, right? Every single person you come into contact with, you have that power. Use that power wisely. Communicate love. Communicate love, please. I beggeth of you. Trying to stay strong, Joe. I had my first doctor appointment since the surgeries, and I got some heavy news about the next steps I need to take, as well as a major decision I need to accept that will affect the rest of my life. Sounds like every single decision we've ever made, Maxine. Not to make light of this, I understand there are some decisions that affect our lives more than others, but every single decision you make affects you for the rest of your life. Every single one of them. And that's never gonna change. It's always gonna be hard. It's just always gonna be heavy. It's always gonna be deep. So deep, right? Because your everything and the everything that goes into your consideration of the everything you're gonna experience is everything. So make it loving, please. Try it. Try, even though it's gonna suck sometimes. Love will be the ability to actually survive, to go through the tough times and see the other side. Please, I want to see you on the other side. I mean, fucking look for you. I don't miss your streams. I miss you. Yes, exactly. And Uncle Becky, it's nice to have you here, dude. So nice. Mel going to be Ghost King because of how much love he has on the other side. Gonna be ultra powerful traveling. No, that's Christian. Christian is the one that's already freaking cultivating that type of magic. I mean, like that dude is tripping me out actively. Thank you with the love, though, Zano. I appreciate it. Trust your brother. You know, you see me. We do. Sending you peace and calm. Thank you. Everything must be present tense. This decision will affect the rest of my life a lot deeper. I have to have a total hysterectomy where they remove my uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and will force me into menopause at age 36. I hear you, Maxine, and I cannot even fathom that being the reality that the eye has to come to terms with, right? Not ever, like almost accepting with a surgery like that there is an impossibility for you to have children. I can't imagine the suffering. I hope your eggs can be saved. I don't know if this is again the masculine mind trying to problem solve. I'm sorry, but save the eggs. There will still be biological children possible, not even a few years from now. And there's also potential for implants that could actually serve as in terms of like proper hormonal production. And in fact, we don't even have to do implants. Implants might be easier in the short term, but then eventually it will be, done through genetic expression where we can fix for those things as well. You will survive, Maxine. You are alive. You are. You are. And nothing can take that away from you. I love you so much. I can't imagine. I'm a part of me, the part of me that wants to understand the depth of what you're experiencing feels like it's dying, right? Dying to see a friend suffering this much, to hear the reality, to understand the implications thereof, and then trying to be strong, right? It's almost like I feel like I'm an imposter. How can I talk about something like this without being in hysteria? How can you talk about something like this about being in hysteria, right? How are we supposed to be strong when we're faced with these realities? And then the answer comes back because we're loving, because we love ourselves, because we love the ones around us. We love you, Maxine. We love you. No matter what, no matter what we go through, we will continue loving you. We're here for you. I wish I could make it easier or make it better. All I can give is my presence, my focus, my love in this moment. Oh goodness, that's too much. I saw what looked like the combination of a snake and tiger's eye. Both a tiger's kind of like shape, but also the snake's kind of scaly outside. And then the more I was looking into it, it became wider and wider and wider, looking deeper and deeper into me as well. Look and you will see, Maxine, the everything. The everything. Like in the trip to me is, and this is the part of me that I feel can be a little bit triggering. With this perspective of love that I have and believing that consciousness shows up lovingly for everything, actually everything. This experience you're gonna have, Maxine, is divinely unique, right? Nobody gets to have this experience the way you are. And that includes everything, including the traumas, including the suffering. As unfair as it may feel, you are so loving that you chose to have this everything, this fraction of everything. And a fraction of infinity is still infinite. That's the joke, right? That yes, we're having this experience, including the suffering, because of how loving we are, not because of how damned evil, unworthy we are. Pancakes do make everything better. Yeah, get some pancakes. That sounds sick. So many blessings, extra blessings onto those pancakes. The nicest of toppings. I'm imagining fresh berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackcurrant berries on a stack of pancakes. It looks it looks picturesque even, but I'm also super hungry. So maybe my mind is taking me on a ride right now. I've been able to achieve a wonderful life through right order, thought, and visualization. And you will continue to, Brother Bear. I'm proud of you, Tim. Like, it makes me so happy to know that there are more beings in this world trying to do that, right? Trying to visualize for all of us, because it does start with yourself. Trying to visualize for yourself a better life. And I believe a better life should be measured in, four metrics, right? One of the metrics we very much associate with is happiness. We imagine our better life containing more happiness as a part of it, right? Then this better life can also contain within it wealth. Oh, I'm gonna be happy, and also I'm gonna have so much money. I'm gonna have so much wealth, right? Then there is health, and the joke is that that one can kind of fall away sometimes, actually, as we continue to age. And then there is our relationships, right? So those are the things we have to work on. And as we visualize, a better life for ourselves, more happiness for this version of self, more healthy relationships for this version of self, more wealth to contribute to the outside world, right? Like my biggest hope for my wealth one day is to invest ridiculous amounts of money into my friends, kind of like skyrocketing the price of their artwork, and then giving them a ride. Like with the NFT space, they'll get to make commissions out of every single work of art they make after that as well, right? And it's like we give each other momentum, that we can give each other energetic momentum with wealth, right? And every single one of us actually show up for that part of ourselves will have that much more weight behind us to push an idea forward. Then there is health, right? Working towards a future where we actually have proper healthcare, where we don't have human beings incentivized by drug companies to prescribe us things, but we actually have an artificially intelligent model that sole directive is to keep you healthy. Right? Keep person healthy. That's what you need to do. That's job. That's purpose. Keep person healthy. Right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel this universe loves purpose. The purpose of a tree is to tree, right? And if it suddenly gains purpose outside of treeing, it falls apart. It stops treeing. It needs to tree. Fundamentally, that's its being. And if we can find a actual AI model that's fundamental beingness is to make sure you are healthy, because you deserve health. You are born healthy. And with the society we find ourselves in, we have a lot of things contributing to our unhealthiness, right? The part of us that's falling apart, our food systems, our air that we breathe, our water that we drink. And then that's like the things that we're like, yeah, that makes complete sense. And then there's also our society, right? The way we are made to feel, the loneliness, the isolation from one another, and how that negatively impacts our health in the moment to moment, causes us more inflammation. And then there's our relationships, right? As we mentioned, healthy relationships, that helps our health as well. Health, wealth, relationships, and happiness. I mentioned all of them. Maybe there's a fifth one. Purpose. Yeah, purpose. There we go. I felt like there needed to be a fifth one. Purpose. Shit. Maybe, maybe there's all of them are supposed to be our purpose. Purpose is a difficult one to give to someone else. You can give someone tools to make sure they're healthier. You can give someone access to social events to make friends, form relationships. You can give someone wealth. You can give someone happiness temporarily, maybe. But can you give a person purpose? Are you supposed to? I don't think so. I feel purpose should be found. But how I feel like we're in like territory that's suddenly got like this high in grass, and now I went from like na 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 to suddenly, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now. Your purpose is love, I believe, right? And fortunately, every single one of us facilitate love differently. So what you love to do isn't what I love to do. And that's perfect, right? That's the way it's supposed to be. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more present with you, friends. I feel like I'm really melting. Like my mind is getting disintegrated by influence. Every single time I read like a bit of your friends' comments, it opens me. I have severe endometriosis, so the recovery pain has been very present way longer. If they remove all of that, I can't have kids. I don't want kids. Okay, that makes it easier, right? I guess now it's going to be the part of you that has to actually accept, right? And then there's the menopausal thing that I can't imagine is easier because your ovaries, I do believe, contribute and provide hormones, right? So I can't imagine that being a fun thing to deal with. But again, right? Like I'm seeing this again from the lens of love, where you have access to healthcare providers who want to save your life. I would like to believe that's their prime directive, right? And you went under the knife and you came back. No free tacos. We're not gonna go into the NFTs right now. Maxine, I have an easy moment for you, friend. This isn't an easy moment for you, friend. I encourage you to lean in and embrace the unknown, to experience all of it, to realize you can love even the depth of the pain. Makes sense that I have to remove it all at some point. There are women who have a better quality of life after, free of pain and periods. I love you, Maxine. No matter what you choose, you will be just as accepted. You will be just as whole, right? You won't be less of a person just because a part of you got taken out of you. This happens to my mom. That happened to my mom, Beansy. It did change things for her, but the body is so resilient. I said it 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 more. You're a powerful being and you will continue to be so, with powerful beings having your back. Yes. So much yes. Thank you, Jovan, for sharing that. Maxine, I'm sending you pure energy, huge amounts, so that if you get a little tired from all of the thinking, you possibly have an extra resource. Thank you. Right? Think about that. If you ever for a second start thinking, man, I kind of suck, remember, and this is Boyana's wisdom, remember that other people in the world are actively thinking, man, that person is so great. That person is great, right? So even if you for a second find yourself in a moment of like, I kind of suck, there are a lot of other people thinking, you're fantastic. Remember that. Draw on that resource. You have it now. I knew my old druid folk. We've always been here. Presence. Ceaseless presence, Brother Bear. I have had some friends go through this, and there is no right comfort answer. Love and light, friend. Maybe you'll find comfort on the different mission. Be patient, listening to the signal. Experience it all, knowing that your experience is divine, unique. Your ability to transcend it is loving. You will go through everything and still be. Everything you consider yourself will melt away, right? That's the whole melt more thing. Everything you think is you will melt, and you can still melt more. There will still be more for you to melt. There's still going to be more things you think you are that's also going to get melted away. And then you're going to be like, this is where. And then that's going to, and you're never ending arising and falling of yourself as well. I left the doctor's office yesterday. I had a panic attack for the rest of the day. Lots of tears having to accept all of this. The long-term risks are also terrifying. The biggest risk is dying, right? And dying isn't dangerous, Maxine. Dying isn't the end of this experience either. I'm not encouraging you to die. In fact, I need you alive, I say selfishly. Because without you alive in this moment, there is no you being alive in this moment. And clearly that experience is necessary. Otherwise it wouldn't be. Right? There's a lot of nothing in this universe. Ooh, and then there's you, right? Like that. Like that. You as a beautiful thing that just arises from nothing. I don't know if that captures on the lens that well, but in person, that looks like a little spiral of clouds, just out of nowhere, right? Nothing surrounding it. Just a little spiral of clouds. It's so trippy. Stand tall in your beingness, dear friend. You are significant. Don't forget it, Maurice. Like, seriously. Hand me hold a 20 pound. I love you, dude, so much. All of you friends. Say 20 times in the morning, 20 times before bed. Another great mantra is every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day and in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day and in every way, I am getting better and better. Every day in every way. I am getting better and better. I feel it, dude. Mine is ever more abundance flows to me. I give it back with absolute glee. That's the one I try to repeat in my mind. Ever more abundance flows to me. I give it back with absolute glee. Ever more abundance flows to me. I give it back with absolute glee. Oh, the another end of the song, dude. Let the abundance flow to you. Health is wealth. It is vital, absolutely. It is the most important thing, technically, when it comes to our felt experience of this moment. I don't know any of my family history, so all of my body issues are coming as surprises. And, the joke of consciousness is it loves surprises. Maxine, maybe lean into it being like, oh, wow, now this. Oh, now this new catastrophe that I have to be faced with. And I feel so insensitive for saying these things even. But I do not know what could be better. Gabri-goo, can you teach me, dude? Yao, meepow, vamal, scarp, skibibility, glord. Maybe that might be better than what I said. I agree, Gab. It's nice having you, dude. We're talking about impermanence. We're talking about suffering. We're talking about the reality of this experience we're having, how we can't communicate the depth of our being to someone else, especially when it's pain. And it's almost like if we could actually make another person feel the full depth of the pain we're experiencing, that would cause us suffering. All right. So maybe it's good we can do that sometimes. We can manifest the other people to find their purpose. We are actively doing so, Tim. At least I would like to believe so. That's why we're doing this, right? I focus on I'm in my best physical, mental, spiritual, and financial shape of my life so far. So the universe gave me exactly what I desired. I've dealt with this pain for over 13 years. What I believe, Maxine, is that before you had that as a mantra, right, you already had this thing developing. And it went unnoticed for so long. And because you have manifested this part of your life where you are in your best physical, shape of your life, and physical can be, your health as well, your internal health as well. Now you found out, right? You have access to these doctors who want to help, who want to ensure this ideal physical health that you desire and that you deserve, right? That is your right. That is your birthright. And you're coming into that reality right now, Maxine. Like, I feel, as painful as it might be, you are actively manifesting your truth, your reality. That's a good mantra. I love you, friend, so much for sharing. Please tell me, y'all have been hearing about the resurgence of cymatics and resonance frequencies and how it makes up everything. Yeah, dude, the sacred principle of harmony, sound, and life. Like, we pull sacred geometry cards every day, dude. And, we speak love into our water every day because of those cinematics. It's like If you, for instance, take water and you resonate it at a certain frequency, certain patterns arise from it. If you take little sand particles and you put it on a flat sheet and you vibrate at different frequencies, fundamental stuff arise from it. And it's the same for these trees, right? There's a frequency happening that is tree. So it arises as such. And it's the same thing for your human being. Lean in. I think at least that's what I hope we've been trying to make clear in these streams. It makes sense. I have to remove it all at some point. There are women who have a better quality of life. Again, I see that as your future as well. Gob, manifesting abundance into this space. Dude, you're gonna melt me, oh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I accept you, oh. I accept this abundance that you share. The fact that you say I accept directly is the exact thing that I needed to hear, bro. Because my mind was like, I don't deserve this. What did I do to deserve 10 bucks from Gob? And then Gob reminds me, hey, oh, accept. Know that there's love in that. Thank you, Goo. I appreciate it so much, man. Sending you the goodest of vibes right back. Hope that the sunset is treating you friends well. I want to kind of play my kalimba with it. I feel like there is a calling to it. Sorry, I've been in the cave for months now. Just reading and learning, healing. Dude, you're on the path. We're on the way we're supposed to be going. All plants do better when pruning off the yellow leaves. The energy goes back to the green parts. Exactly. Maxine, you're already where you're supposed to be. See all of your friends. It's why we exactly. We basically, as our voice, with the things we say, with the frequencies we make, we are actively tuning our body into different resonant frequencies. Tune yourself into love. Love. I'm reading comments right now as I'm singing. I feel like it's a way of communicating how it's making me feel. It's like having experienced the last episode of Midnight Gospel on a deeper personal level. Being reminded that we are all end up here where we begin and that love isn't going anywhere. Maxine, part of me is jealous of the depth of the experience you're having. Don't say anything. People in my life have been remarking on the energy I've been giving, such a cheerful and joyful. It's nice to get unsolicited validation. Gavri goo. Look at me, dude. Look at me. Look at me. You're fantabulastic. Oh, fucking so that's massive. Oh, it's like shit. Get hit in the face with this sheer presence of this being. Hasn't even said anything, just darts his, joyful eyes at me. God. You're loved, dude. So loved. Yes, more validation for God. More. Plus, adults of babes are lusting over me. It's a little overwhelming. Yes. Yes, right? Good for you, Gob. Yes, get them. Oh, but don't, right? Get them around you, but don't let them get you. Just be like, yes, this is good. This is good. There is other people and there is me. And I get to be myself and they get to be other people. This is, yeah, okay, I'm making sense of this. Apparently, other people would like to be with me. So clearly there's nothing wrong with me. I can be with people, but I'm looking for the right person that I want to actually be with as well, right? It's easy enough to have people want to be with me, but I need to find someone that I want to be with as well, right? Even more love to you, Gabagoo. Man, I'm tripping right now. Okay, we're treading positive right now, Uncle Backers. Yes, the evolution is happening. Oh, there it is. This full moon that's coming is gonna be a new moon, I believe, right? It's like the first new moon. So technically on the lunar cycle, now officially is new moon, New Year's of the new moon. And the new moon can be signified, especially when it comes to goals in life, right? The purpose we have right now and what we want to be doing for our next moon cycle, right? When it comes to the cyclical year. And I feel I need to commit to writing my book. I need to be like, bruh, you need to sit down and do this. There's no, there's no getting around, and you have to do it. You have to freaking do it. So, yeah, an hour a day is coming up soon. Hopefully, I can do it fast. I might actually, I'll write it myself, and then I'll edit it with AI tools. I'll disclaimers and stuff, right? And if it makes my writing less valuable, I don't actually care. I I'm gonna read it myself and I'm gonna experience for myself. Is there truth in what I'm experiencing right now? Is there truth communicated to me right now? And if that's not the case, I'm gonna my own finger stickies, my fingers, right? I'm gonna change it myself. But yes, it needs to happen. It actually needs to happen. Manifest goals, set goals, and then show up, right? Plan and then show up. We make a mistake between planning for things and having goals, right? One of my goals as a human being in this world is to ensure that before I die, every single human being has a place to live, food to eat, water to drink, and family or community, right? That's my purpose. I need to make sure that that happens. But I need to start planning now how I can, in the short term, start going towards that goal. All right, because the goal is a little bit far away, and it can feel so dissonant. Where I'm like, yeah, this is the goal, this is the idea I might have for my overarching life, but making a plan and then showing up is the only way we're actually going to see the results we're looking for. I want the moon to be there before I'll change the scene again. And it happens fast. It happens actually kind of fast, right? Well, we can watch it happen. Maybe we'll forget about it every now and then. So much love is being sent. Babes, take one look at Gabi and think, oh my goodness, he's got huskies. He paints masterpieces. He makes coffee. And he's a Scorpio. Thanks. Yes, exactly. Honestly, they don't know any of that about me, Beansy. But my skin is immaculate because of my moisturizing game lately. I look hot. I gotta admit. I value, dude. Tell me what you do. Oh, teach me. I haven't been taking care of my skin. I've been fasting. I feel like fasting has actually helped my skin a little bit, but I feel the sugar isn't doing it for me. It's giving me pimples, so I need to stop eating it completely, I think. I value modesty over most things, but sometimes facts are facts, and there is no shame in actually acknowledging your own worth, gobbledygoo. And I hope that that is also going to be a truth. Like, if you start acknowledging yourself in this space, we're not going to be like, no, stop it. You stop it. You don't love yourself. We're going to be like, yeah, yeah, love yourself. Yeah. Actually, you're double hot. You should love yourself more. You should love yourself more. Oh, thank you, dude. Self-care and genuine happiness. Look hot AF on people. Exactly. Just knowing the self. I am partial to the Nitro Neutrogena brand. I'm seeing Uncle Uncle Becky is also asking about the moisture. I must know. I'm so happy that we are at the stage of life, right, as men, where instead of being like, what, this dude moisturizes, you know, he must be some airy fairy sissy or something. And us, you know, men being like, oh, please tell me what your skincare routine is, because all of us are people. Freaking gender roles, stupid, stupid gender roles. Okay. Let me just move on. Hydro boost line, more love. I should actually just start putting aloe vera slime on my face as well. I know that that probably does help. Fear is a survival response. Mortality is a common fear for every sentient creature. When you stop fearing death, you learn to control the lesser fears that often plague most of us. I agree. When it becomes something you can understand and accept as a part of reality, as I understand that when I step my foot out, there's gravity, and then I'm gonna hit the ground, right? And we can understand that. We're like, yes, yeah. Dying is like that. And then once that part of you, memento mori, right? Once you remember that you're gonna die, from that ash, from that dissoluteness, you have stability, ground to grow from, right? Become yourself, live your life. Don't live in fear, dear friend. You deserve better, right? Gotta have to come see Uncle Becker's in October's. Yeah. Yeah, make it a blossoming, bitches. Yeah, blossom, dude. Blossom, yeah. Blossom. I don't fear death so much as how it comes. When I think of death, it's the exhaling into total relaxation, knowing I no longer have to worry and I get to go home. Yeah. The release, right? How it can sometimes feel like we're fighting. We're fighting to stay alive. And when you die, that fight is over, right? It's not dangerous. It's a deep surrender into trust, into knowing you'll be okay. And some people have a hard time understanding the nature of dying in that way. So they fight it. They 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 are more obsessed, more convinced, more attached to the fighting part of their nature, to the masculine part of their nature than the feminine part, that is change, that is the transformation, that is the transitioning period, that is the deep falling into, that is the trust. And maybe I'll eat my words. Maybe if I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna be like, fuck, I don't wanna die at like 20,000 years old or something. Or I don't know. I don't know. And I don't care. I don't care. I feel like I'm alive right now. And that's what's important. Are you alive? Yes? Then you are loved. There we go. Evidence. You got some evidence right there. If you're the what's the best information source to know where the moon is at any given time related to my house? You're asking me a question that I cannot answer you with. I usually just Google that exact question, or even type that exact question into ChatGPT and see what it tells me. There's an eclipse happening with this full moon. The energies are really crazy. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. There's like glitches in the technology happening, weirdness with abundance. Everything is beautiful. Everything is flowing as it's supposed to. Be overwhelmed, and then notice you're gonna have more overwhelm, and then there's gonna be more of you to be overwhelmed, and then you're gonna overwhelm, and then it's gonna be more. Keep going. Just keep going. Keep breathing. Anchoring yourself into reality. Eat food, drink water, wash yourself, take care of your body. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We just have to keep going. I use an app called Moonex. That's a sick name for an app as well. I just rescued a baby guinea hen from getting eaten by the neighbor's dog. I'll post the cutie on Discord. I'm just imagining, for some reason, fluffy. Guinea hen sounds like a fluffy chicken to me. A meteor shower too? Really? It's hard to see with how bright the moon will be. How about that? Eclipse, uh, meteor shower, and a full moon coinciding. And then we're like, oh yeah, all of it is random. All of it is just a coincidence. None of it means anything. We're not loved. We're just, you know, sacks of meat floating through space. It doesn't mean anything. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It means love. It means love, yo. It means love. Can't prove me wrong. I don't want to be proved wrong. Feed it peppers. Yeah, they actually don't have capsaicin receptors. Chickens can eat pepper seeds and chili bits without any qualms. That's the best information source. Thank you again for asking, Joe. Love, love. I'll message some skincare info. Mel, please do. Maybe even in the Discord. Share it for all of us. Maybe I'll send a care package. Yes. The green in me says, yes, I would love a care package from Goo. I'm just imagining this shift in reality, right? Like 50 years ago, both of us would think we're gay if God didn't send me a knife in a box for my birthday. And now, having actually opened our eyes and realized we're all human beings, I get to receive creams as a care package. Gag, gag. This, I love this reality. Eat the teriyaki sauce, damn it. No Trogona. What am I? What is happening right now? New True Neutrogena, the brand, I'm guessing. I'll be your sissy. All the dudes in Melty Stream end up having glowing faces. Everybody deserves to be beautiful. Everybody deserves to have a good face care routine, to take care of themselves. And it does, and I hope and I believe it doesn't have to be complicated, right? Having 50 different creams and 50 different face washes doesn't sound economical or sustainable to me. Having like one of each that you use into completion in the new experiment, as that product cycle. This is how it makes me feel. And then you get to experiment if you need to, or you get to continue choosing what has communicated to your being what works. There we go. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Doesn't that look like an eye? Yeah, it's looking at us. I see you too, Miss Moon. So freaking sick of. I love this world. It's so cool. Here we go. Yeah. He's a living, breathing chicken magnet. So much love. No glowing faces for me, thanks. I'll keep the stubble and crow's feet. Yeah. Joe knows that there is perks, right? Like when a person perceives Joe's face in their mind, there's a bar that like adds +10 wisdom because he can see crow's feet. It's like, yeah, +10 wisdom on this dude. He must probably know what he's talking about. He's a little bit older. And then people look at me and they're like baby face, and then it goes like -10 wisdom. It's like this bro's probably stupid. Probably doesn't know what he's talking about. Probably just a kid. And yes, I will forever be one. I will never not be kid because I was born from a planet, and she will always be my mom. If your face is lucky, I would wash it. If I could moisturize it, I would probably be terrified. I mean, you could wash and moisturize someone's face relatively pain free, right? I'll just be like, close your eyes and don't move. And I'll wash your face for you. It would be pretty weird, probably though. Be like, can you not do that, please? Let me wash my own face. I have to scroll up and see. I mean, if you lay down and someone like with their fingertips gives you like a face scrub, that is actually a whole vibe. I do admit. I had to scroll up and see if I sent my aloe vera moisturizer message. I didn't, but tickled by the alignment, of course. It was sent through space time, right? Through divine mind, and it arrived. Thank you. I agree. You're right. I think you're right, actually, Joe. I think I should start using the aloe vera instead of wanting to get more creams or wait for something. I do have CeraVe. That's like the basic cream that I use, but that's pretty much it. If my face is like enough love again, I use a vitamin C serum. I want actually some vitamin C serum, and I've heard good thing about the hyaluronic acid serum. It's like a mild irritant on your skin, which causes it to replace cells faster, which gives your skin a more rejuvenated look, like a yeah, with sunscreen. I don't have crow's feet yet, so that's good. I mean, Genevieve, I feel like it's only gonna get better, right? Right now we have tech when it comes to our skincare routines. Next we have tech when it comes to our genes, right? Oh yeah, well this gene, when it's overexpressed, makes your skin age faster, causes inflammation throughout the entire body, and as a result, causes your body to break down slowly. You want us to turn off this gene? No, you want to die slowly? Okay, you can do that. You do want to? Okay, yeah, we'll turn that off for you, and then suddenly, yeah, that whole process slows down. Crow's feet translate to happiness within a person. That's true. I feel you can see it in the eyes as well, right? Like they can be soul in the eyes. When you look from a place of love, there's more soul in your eyes. I moisturize my feet to take very good at my footsies. Good. I like how he doesn't moisturize his face, but he moisturizes his feet. Is that the moon behind Melty? It is. How perfect is it? I hate my phone, giving up attempting communication. It's fine. You're saying everything you need to be saying. Nancy, Love you. It's nice to have you. I have this week off, so sleeping in. Yes, rest well. I would really like a knife in a box for my birthday, just say. And there's nothing wrong with that either, right? I just think there's something wrong with thinking that there is something wrong with you if you don't want a knife in a box for your birthday, right? I think that's what's wrong. Thinking ourselves weird because we're not experiencing things as they've been experienced before. Moon in the background, beautiful hues. I'll play the kalimba for a bit, then we'll pull a card, and then we'll say goodbye for today. White and blue, pink and orange. Are you friends? I'm painting my nails different shades of pin right now, paint right now, pink right now, pink right now, orange. That sounds beautiful. I would, really like, I would take that knife in the box, but an heartfelt message of like, hey Dan, you're such a stand-up guy, you know. Here's a knife in a box. Sorry if it's gonna be a click. Okay, I got it to be undisturbing. We'll play the kalimba for like 4 minutes and no. We'll do less. We'll do 3 minutes and 33. 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Hallo oma! Ek sit hier so buite. My grandma just walked into frame. I was like, she, I don't know my grandma's gonna be here, but now she is. Dis lekker om te sien, ek sal nou kom praat, ouma. Ek gaan gou 'n kaart trek en dan gaan ek klaar wees. Oh, my heart is a kalimba. Yes, it's me trying to communicate love, like with little ding 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 ding. Love, 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 love. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you like this, love you like that. Love you like so. Oh, okay. It's weird when you say that, Joy, because it was bringing Mr. Comfort, and I wasn't sure why. I totally sent you a birthday present, but I'd sent you a knife in a box. I think you'd actually receive that well. I probably would, right? I'd probably be so stoked to get a knife in a box. I'd be stoked to receive anything with your friends' sentimental value in mind. Okay, dermatologist secret is amylactin daily. Is this something you drink or something you put on your face? I've never heard of that thing even. The music was very soothing. I'm happy to hear it. Love to you, Grima in the house. So much love, 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 love. I'm melting right now just reading the comments. Let's see what card we're going to pull. How about that for even more coolness, more synchronicity, synchrononate. Oh, let's see. That's the other way around. Carta. Yeah, so carta. This one. Yeah. Ooh. Blue and white. It's kind of trippy that you use the word white. I think it's more purple and white, but the white is like spot on. The card we pulled today is, of course, card number 44. Spiraling into love. Might be a little bit sexual. I'm sorry. But love doesn't have to be sexual. Love is a deep merging of, right? Giving your absolute presence to a situation can be like the embrace, like a kissing of another person. Yeah, I'm tripping out. I'm tripping out as well. But yeah, that's the card we pulled. Let's see what it means. This card number 44. Intimacy and communication. What were we talking about today? Almost something like not being able to communicate the person that you are with full depth to anyone. Intimacy and communication. This is too much. This is like 3 days in a row at this point. That's trippy, yo. Okay. The spiral helix of our DNA. This look like I'm insane. Yes, maybe this is a part of the experience, right? I'm supposed to look insane right now. At least we're saying spiraling, not spiraling into madness. Yes, we're spiraling into love. The spiral helix of our DNA whirls around this sacred couple. And a couple can be where any two people are, right? That's a couple. Where any two people are, that's a couple, right? There's me in this moment, and there's you in this moment. Otherwise, there would be no experience. And quickens communication of their intimacy. Human DNA helps connect us to the web of creation. It holds ancestral knowledge as well as the future potential in a vast library of information. Also, swirling around this couple are spirals of possibility that have only to be recognized in order to be activated. As they experience both human sexuality and universal love, this information stimulates their conscious decision to communicate with genuine intimacy. There are many styles of communication. Simple words may be effective for making a statement or providing instructions. However, when concepts and emotions enter the exchange, words often fail to convey the message intended. This card asks you to view the way you communicate. Do you speak from your heart with respect and serenity, Do you truly listen to the people with whom you are speaking? Resolve to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are communicating and recognize the marvelous being that stands or sits before you. Observe both your own and the other's body language and feel their essence. We shared Christian's story today as well about a singular person being representational of all of the people he has ever loved. And like this is happening below me right now. Pippi is like, give me attention. Stop reading things. You need to give me attention. And she's like pushing my hand. I love you, Pippi. Thank you. I'll see you. I'll give you all of the pets later, as you know. She's like, look, she's like, bro, do the thing where you give me attention. Oh, do it. Do the thing. Oh, come on. Stop reading things. No, I'm gonna finish the sentence. Listen with discernment before you respond. Formulate your words. This is Shan's favorite line from this book, I believe. Formulate your words as if they are prayers wanting to be shared. With gentle grace and positive intent, speak your truth in the most intimate way you are able. This is tripping me out. The fact that I brought the kalimba into stream today and I had to share that love, right, as the kalimba sounds, trying to share. Oh my, okay. My brain's melting. Thank you, friends, for melting more with me. Skapow! Fractal, fractalized, crystallized, immortalized. You're in good company, I'm sure, Beansy. Love is true. Into me I see. Yes, spiral into love, dear friends. Joe, any of us holding our shit together, it better be you. Yes, the kalimbas joining nicely with the wind chimes here. Perfect. I'll try to remain calm. My customer wants to remove a bunch of eastern daisies. Early food for local pollinators. I can imagine, dude. Feeling like, bro, these things are necessary. They're a part of the ecosystem. I don't want to remove them. Is the card that says, say your words. Is it their prayers? Exactly, Shan. Exactly. It is. Yeah, there we go. A very merry unbirthday to you. Unbirthday to you? Love you, Joe. Thank you for all of the love still, dude. Yeah. Tell her no. Tell her no, that it's your expertise that she keeps the daisies for a longer because they're food. Joy Vive, I did, but one person's food is another person's weeds. She pays the check and I'll make up the bees with growing more. Exactly. Yeah. When the feminine wants change, the masculine obeys. Even if it means desolating those poor little eastern daisies. Shame, shame, shame. But as our beloved Duck Dad says, he's going to do it with the building up on the other side. Making more love, right? Realizing that there might be pain in the moment, but the grand scheme of things is going to be overarchingly loving. Group hug! Yes! Spiraling into love, right? Realizing that this person, you and yourself, and your relationship with life being the loving relationship, being the intimacy that we're spiraling into me I see, right? Into the depth as we're. The synchronicity is melting my brain right now. It feels like all of my neurons are trying to fire at the same time. And I'm like, bro, please, can we do it one at a time so that I can actually formulate the sentence? Joy Vive, I did, but the ones, again, thank you for the love, dude. Digital group hug, not in person, because I smell like up dog. What's up, dog? That sounds like I've talked so much love. Hold yourself. Just put your own hands around your own shoulders and just add a little bit of pressure. That's how we can share a digital global hug. Yes. Love. Love. Oxytocin in this moment. Thank you, dear friends, for loving me enough to spend your time, to spend your presence, to spend even your money, Gob. Goodness, dude. Thank you, all of you friends, so much eternally. I have a Patreon to you friends. I guess I should start telling people that I actually have a Patreon. I do have a Patreon. Your friends are like, oh no, dude, relax. Why do you think we're still here? Of course we know. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I love you all so very, very super ginormously macho grande dearly. Melt and all of you, oh so wonderfully amazing, divine friends. Love you. Thank you, Shan, always for sending such beautiful messages. It's a challenge in itself to make sure I can read it with enough flow and poise, and you keep changing it, which always makes it interesting for my mind. Joy, when I hear deodorant in the pollinator garden, everything thinks I'm a flower. It's like, yeah, this one's tasty. Yum yum. Then it's just bees slamming into my body all day. No, no, thank you. Oh, thank you, friends. Thank you again. I'll see you soon tomorrow. Experience and love. The full moon is coming your way. The sun is probably there first. My day is over. I'm gonna go make flowers, and then I'll see you friends again soon.